Game of Thrones.
That was so half-hearted. Sell it, Chelsey. Sell it.
Game of Thrones.
There you go. Okay, Game of Thrones. Second last episode.
Oh, God.
A Dance with Dragons.
Oh, this episode.
Remember how we were talking about how last episode was awesome?
Well, this episode was still really good, but it hurt.
Oh my god, it was like being punched in the face repeatedly.
Hey, episode 9.
So we'll start with Arya, because Arya's story is kind of the most boring.
She's supposed to be poisoning this guy. You know, she's got his trust. She sells him oysters. And, you know, it's her time. This is her time. And she gets distracted. I spent this whole sequence yelling, "Focus! Focus!" Ugh.
New life now! Arya gets distracted by one of the guys on our hit list.
He is accompanying Mace Tyrell on a journey to the Iron Bank. And Mace Tyrell, I guess, wants to borrow some money, and he's being totally obnoxious.
So give me a kiss by the Long Canal.
Anyways, Melisandre's like wandering around like, I want prostitutes.
Not just prostitutes, though.
I want the young ones. And you're just like, oh, good.
Oh, lovely.
Because this episode wasn't hard enough as it is. So anyways, Arya totally just follows him to a brothel and just stares at him. Just stares at him. I mean, she had a job to do. Was not thinking about it. She goes back to Jack and Hagar and is just like, oh, he wasn't hungry today.
Jaqen totally knows that there's something going on.
He totally knows. You can't pull one over on this guy. So that was boring. And there is Jaimie over in...
This was like the nice scene. Like, this was the, hey, you remember when this show was fun and everybody was kind of cocky and it was like a great old time? You remember those days? Because here's a glimpse at it.
Thank you, Jaimie. So Jaimie is talking to Prince Dorne, and he's like, yeah, sorry about that thing with Myrcella. You know, like, no hard feelings. I just kind of got this letter with, like, I don't know, what was it? Something like a lock of Myrcella's hair.
It was her locket.
Oh, her locket and a viper attached to it. So, yeah, I was a little worried, and Dorne's like, oh.
I like how they turn and they look at the consort, and she's just like, not fucking me, guys.
Yeah, totally wasn't me over here. So,
and then like, oh, let's all take a drink to Tommen's health, and she's just like
pouring it out. Jaimie's like, well, Tommen wants his sister back, and Dorne's like, okay, well, fine, but Tristan is going with her. And also, Oberyn had a spot on the small council. Tristan gets that spot. And Jaimie's like, fine, fuck, whatever, do what you want.
And then he's like, but you can. What about my man? My man, Bronn. Where's Bronn? Because, you know, Bronn, he was just following orders, doing what he was told.
It's totally my fault.
It's my fault, and
I really want the guy back.
And so, like, it's like, oh, okay, Tristan's can make the decision, and like cuts to Bronn going through, and he's like, "Will I be happy at the end of this walk?" And they go up into the room, and it's like, "Oh, you know, they're gonna give you your freedom." And Bronn's like, "Oh, that's so nice of you," but there's like one thing, and then the guard just backhands him.
And you're just like, "I'm so sorry, you poor man."
It kind of reminded me of the time in the Conan movie when Arnold punches a camel, like that kind of sense of humor. Before we get into our fun little bit, before we get to the big fun bit at the end, there's this really adorable scene with Davos and Princess Shereen, and once that happens, I'm like, this girl is gonna die. Like, I have been worried about her all season. Like, all season I've been like, nope, Melisandre is gonna burn this girl. And I'm just, ugh.
But anyways, so over on the other side, we have Daenerys, and she's finally reopened the fighting pits. So the people of Meereen are so happy. And so, you know, Tyrion's there, and her soon-to-be husband is there, and, what's his name? Dario is there.
That kind of awkward flirting between Dario and her, like, betrothed. And
the infighting?
Yeah, it was so cute.
It was pretty funny.
I was loving that.
And then Tyrion's just sitting there like, fucking morons, all of you. Fuck. This is just wonderful. And so, Daenerys opens the fighting pits, and
we watch one fight, and then we go to the next fight, and who's there being an asshole?
Jorah Mormont! Hey!
She said nobody! Come on! Come on!
And so Daenerys is like, well, go at it. And so Jorah nearly dies. Like, he was so close to dying. And it's at that moment that she realizes that losing Jorah to at least death is not what she wants, and she doesn't want him to die.
And so Jorah manages to win, and then he throws a spear directly at Daenerys, and everybody's like, this is it.
Oh,
this is what he wanted to do. But no, it does not hit Daenerys. It hits the man sneaking up behind her to kill her. And then in one of my other favorite shots of this season, Daenerys turns around, and Sons of the Harpy are just, like, standing up from the crowd.
Like, they've all just put on their masks.
Everyone has just put on this mask. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is not good. And, like, Daenerys and her people are, like, trying to protect Daenerys.
They're not doing a very good job.
No, they're not.
I was kind of like, Daenerys is over there. Where are the UnSullied?
Yeah,
what are they doing?
UnSullied, this is their jam. Like, this would be their jam. Like, this is an open field.
Like, get your shit together.
They could just, like, phalanx this, and they'd be done. Like, stick Daenerys in the middle, put the shields up, and then just go.
Yeah.
But no, we have, like, a circle of, like, 6 people around Daenerys and her handmaiden, and they hold hands, and it's just kind of like, well, this was it. Good run, guys.
Man, we need to work on security. Like, they were awful. Just, and then Tyrion has this really cute moment of, like, heroics where somebody's about to kill Melisandre and he just, like, comes up behind them and is like, nope, slits her throat. And then
She's pretty!
And then they grab hands and run. And you're just like, oh, they'd be so cute.
And so then, of course, like, it looks like they're all gonna die, and it's awful, and you're like, well, this is it. This is the end of the Targaryens. Good run, team. This is why you should have left Meereen a long time ago. And then Drogon just like, wah!
It's his sons. And at first, the Sons of the Harpy are like, oh, shit.
That is a dragon. That is a dragon.
Breathes fire. I do not like this.
And then Drogon and Daenerys make up.
Yeah. People are throwing spears at Drogon, and she's like, that's it, bitches.
And she gets on his back and leaves. And I'm just like, what about your people? What about, like, Tyrion? What about Melisandre? What about Grey Worm? What about Jorah? What about Dario?
She's like, Pagas.
Pagas. And like,
sucks to be you.
The Sons of the Harpy and her people all look up as she just like, I'm done.
Peace out.
Woo! And that's how that episode ends.
So, no.
We didn't talk about it because that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
Now we have to talk about what we didn't want to talk about, what you cut me off from talking about because you weren't ready for it.
I'm not ready for it. I needed to get all the good things out because I didn't want to be depressed.
When you talked about, okay.
That is why I cut you off.
Stannis kills his daughter.
Like, burns her on a pyre while she screams and begs
for her
him.
parents.
Ugh. The fucking worst.
I supported you. I defended you. Like, I defended you as much as I defend Littlefinger. Because, you know what? You may be, like, no nonsense, and you may be hard, but you know what? There was a soul in there.
And now it's gone.
And now it's gone.
He sent Davos away because he knew Davos would be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ramsay Snow has taken his 20 good men and come into Stannis' camp and burned things. Like, burned important things, like food, supplies,
Horses.
stuff.
They're trapped. Like, they can't make it back to the wall. They can't make it to Winterfell.
They're screwed.
They're screwed.
And so Melisandre's like, hey, you've got a daughter, let's start a bonfire here. And Stannis finally says yes. And it is the most heartbreaking thing ever, because he goes to her and he starts having this conversation where she clearly doesn't understand what's going on. He's like, you don't understand what's going on, but I will take your willingness to help as, sure, put me on the fire, Daddy, I'm good with it. And so he's like, no, I have a destiny to fulfill.
And, okay, and so she's on the fire, like, the pit, she's screaming, and like, Stannis and his wife are standing there, and his wife is just blabbering on, oh, no, it's a good thing, no, and then
Like
bam!
a switch.
Just
flips.
like a switch flips and you're like, no, I can't do this. And no, this does not make sense. Because it's not like throughout this entire season we've built her up to be like she's... Like, we've built her up as a bitch. Like, she
has no interest in her daughter. Her daughter is a failure. She represents a failure for her as a woman because she brought this sickly thing into the world. She hasn't given Stannis a son.
There's never been a moment where her mask cracks. Like, there's never been a moment that underneath all this kind of, like, bravo of, like, I don't give a shit about my daughter, there's been, like, a moment of, like, motherly kindness.
Not a one.
Not one. So when she changes her mind, it's not believable to me.
No, I watched that and I was like, really? Like...
The person who should have changed their mind was Stannis.
And it should have been too late.
And it should have been too late. Because that would have left Stannis with so much guilt.
And I just sat there and I'm like, I hope this tears you apart. There's like this like clawed beast inside me that's like, I hope you never sleep again. I hope you hear those screams in your dreams. I hope that this terrorizes you and drives you to your end because fuck you, man.
That was not cool.
Just
and I think the worst part was we knew it was coming.
Yeah, you could see
the entire season. It was so obvious.
You're like, well, I guess this is, and it was as painful as you expected it to be. You kind of like laughed with the rest of the episode because this happens at the beginning, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now?
So now we're stuck in this really weird conundrum because if the Lord of Light does not deliver.
Can we put Melisandre on the fire?
Can we put Melisandre on the fire? Because I'm
totally down for that.
I love her character, but I hate her. You know, like
I get you.
She's like an awesome character for what she represents, but oh, do I want to see this bitch burn? Like, you have been killing innocent people. That's not cool with me.
And then Stannis is just like, I have a destiny, but does he really? No, he doesn't. She's just kind of making shit up. But it's the episode 9 punch, so.
Now we get to find out what happens in episode 10. What has this big setup led to?
I'm not looking forward to Davos coming back. It won't happen in this season, I think.
No.
But he's gonna come back next season and be like, I left you for 5 minutes and you did fucking what?
I wonder if this was supposed to mirror when Stannis left Melisandre away. Like, left Melisandre behind and the horrific Battle of Blackwater Bay happened. And, like, Stannis may have lost that, but he kept his soul. In this, he's probably going to win, but...
There goes his soul.
There goes his soul.
Can't leave either of those two behind.
No, you need them. They're a balancing act.
Yeah. Oh, it's not even going to be worth it.
No.
For the Lord of Light is crap.
Well, who knows? Maybe the Boltons will get it this episode.
Still holding out for the Boltons and the White Walkers.
So, what did you think about this episode? What did you think about Stannis? What did you think about the Sons of the Harpy? What did you think about Daenerys, like, abandoning everyone? Is anyone in this show worth, like, cheering for anymore? Tyrion? Where are you, Varys? Come on, Varys.
So, yeah. That's that last finale coming up.
Game of Thrones.